Our mission is to build strong businesses in our community and put our people to work. And this business is got to be business, because that window of opportunity is closing for many small businesses. Shooting the person that you are asking to rehire you, that's probably down at the bottom of the list. To be fair with people, you might get the best price, but sometimes you're winning the battle but losing the war. Let's get our economic freedom on. Good morning. Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday, 10:30 a.m., bringing you the good marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. Now, if I happen to save a soul along the way, well, let's just call it icing on the cake, because the mission, keep the mission in mind, is to build strong businesses in our community so we can put our people to work. That's right. We need to build jobs, create businesses, and help solidify that economic foundation in our community. And that's much more important now, because right now we're in the middle of Black Business Month. So if you're a Black business out there, first of all, congratulations for taking that plunge, because it's not for the weak of heart, but it is so doable and so necessary. But you must have the tools. You must have the knowledge. You must have some resources, and you need a community to back you. But you just can't have folks to back you just because you're a Black business. You have to provide quality service, and you have to give back to that community. So you can't have this one-way street when it comes to the responsibilities that come with being a Black business. Black business is no different than the other business when it comes to expectations and delivery. As a matter of fact, the expectations are higher. I'm not saying that's right, but you know how folks are. I tried a Black business once, and my French fries were cold. Everybody's going to give you cold fries at some point. So you got to be a little more tolerant. But at the same time, you business owners out there, you have to give good service, provide good service. So thank you again for tuning in today. This is the Marketing Pulpit. I'm Robert Gatewood. I am a business developer by trade. I build businesses. That's what I do. Simple as that. Been doing it for 30 years. I don't get cocky about it, but I do know this. I know this service. I know this industry. I've dealt with every type of possible business under the sun. Every size, every industry, government, profit, non-profit. I've seen them all. That's why later in the show, we're going to talk about getting paid. That's right. Are you getting paid, or are you getting played? Ponder that for a minute. Are you getting paid, or are you getting played? Now, what made me think about that this morning? Because I really don't know what I'm going to talk about from one week to the next until something happens during that week. And that's what makes this show so relevant and contemporary, because I am out here in it. You get a lot of folks out here hopping and hollering and trying to get you to give money and join their network or come to their big event. They haven't dealt with one business in real life. They're just theorists. I deal with it on a daily basis. When I get off this air today, I'm going to take off this jacket and tie, roll up my sleeves, and I'm going to get busy. So when I bring you these topics every week, it's usually based on some experience, either that week or in the not so distant past. So today is no exception. We're going to talk about getting paid. We're going to talk about why you can't let emotions drive your money-making decisions. We're going to talk about getting paid. We're going to ask you that question. Are you getting paid, or are you getting played? And some of you are going to be surprised. You're like, oh man, I thought I was getting paid. I've been getting played all this time. We're going to talk about that coming up after 11 o'clock. We're also going to talk about some things that are happening in the news. Because, my, oh my, you're not going to believe some of the things that are happening. I've been saying I'm going to get rid of this war in the workplace segment. As soon as things calm down and civility reigns, people have gotten their ever-loving sense back and stop punching each other out, throwing boiling water on each other through the drive-through, and throwing each other off airplanes. But man, it's like it's getting worse. Have we reached a new low? Has the bar been lowered for civility, for comity, for decorum in the workplace? What each of us have to traverse on a daily basis? If you're like most of us, you have to go to work. You have a job. Go in there, you punch the clock. Well, you don't see much of that anymore. Or you sign in online so the boss can snoop on you. Or you, some people still go to the office. Matter of fact, we're going to talk about that in our business news as well. But the bottom line is, people have changed. I am so shocked every day. You got people in physical fights. You think I'm playing? People are in physical fights. I'm not making this up. We're going to talk about this coming up in our news segment today. No, this is not a skit from Saturday Night Live. This is a real story. So we're going to talk about that. But don't lose focus today. We're going to talk about money. Getting paid and not getting played. Now, am I saying that because I'm over here flushing cash, lighting cigars with $100 bills? No, I'm not. I'm just saying that I deal with people every day, money, transactions. I have clients who are in the money business. So I'm coming to you with some wisdom of experience, some lifelong lessons from the advice of experts. And I'm crafting it into a lesson, a sermon for you later in this show that you do not want to miss. And if you know somebody who's out here struggling with money, either how to get it or how to hang on to it, how to grow it, you don't want to miss this. All right, who daddy made me king, right? Well, this coffee cup for one. See that brand there? That's Marketing Pulpit International. MPI. That's my company. Actually, my company is where I make my money, or where I make my living. Talking about money, right? Where I make my money or not is Gatewood Marketing and Web. It's a business development company. Been doing that for about 30 years or so. And we provide marketing services, business plans, marketing plans, government contracting, consultation, branding, logo design, graphic design, web services. In other words, business development. Just finished working on a marketing plan for a young lady. Matter of fact, this week. She's launching a new business, and she was referred to us by one of the local incubator service, one of the local business colleges. And we get a lot of folks from those business colleges because, one, I'm over there teaching them. They said the guy must know what he's doing, but I don't just teach it. As I said earlier, I had to do this stuff. So look, I don't sit up here and brag all day now. We got stuff to talk about. But I'm just saying, before you waste your morning listening to some knucklehead that doesn't know what he's talking about, that's not me. I do this for a living. I'm not just a talking head. What they were saying, folks that do teach, how does that thing go? Folks that teach folks that do, you know what I mean. But bottom line, they're saying some folks just teach it while others do it. Well, I do both. I teach it. I'm an adjunct professor at Prince George's Community College here in the DC area. Been doing that for about 25 years. I teach marketing, teach social media strategies, and I have a course on networking. And those courses are going to start back up in November. I was at the college this past Saturday. We're having a professional development training day. Met some wonderful people. So we'll be back on, courses will be back. But you can go to marketingpulpit.com where I list the courses that I do through the college. And go ahead and sign up. I mean, you get a lot of good information here too. But it's nothing like that at one-on-one. Not one-on-one, but you know how it is when you're in the classroom. Let's see. I'm also in the government space. I've been working with the Small Business Administration as a subcontractor, helping companies in the 8A program, 7J. And so I'm very familiar with that space. I help them with their technology and social media and web services, branding, capability statements. So I've been doing that for a while. And I've written 2 books. One called Played in Full. Played in Full. There's that played again. I do not want you to be played. I've written a book about it. That's how serious I am. Don't be played, especially when it comes to your money. Money is too hard to come by. Let's see. And I wrote a book called Smarter Than the Boss. And that book is for all the folks who are out there they're kind of sitting on that line between I'm a boss one minute and I'm an employee the next. And my boss I got a knucklehead for a boss. So how do I navigate these waters of trying to stay on my course and my mission without alienating the boss? So sometimes the boss can be a little may not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but you still have to realize that this is a marathon. You can't go out here just ticking off the boss just because you got a couple of degrees on your belt. That boss might know more than you think he knows or she knows. So the book walks you through that whole process of smarter than the boss, whether you think so or not. All right, let's see what else we're going to talk about. So enough about me hearing my head roll. We're going to talk about money coming up. And boy, I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this today. If you've never missed the show, this is the one not to miss. Let's see who's tuning in today. I see Platinum. Good morning, Platinum. Platinum's over there saying, practice what you preach. Hey, that song somebody made a song about that. Practice what you preach. I'm going to sing for you today, too. Nope. Hey, wait a minute. My number just started clicking off. Come back. I was kidding. That was a joke. I used to sing. Matter of fact, my brothers and I, we're planning a reunion. The Gatewood Brothers, we're doing a reunion coming up in September. We haven't sung officially as a group, probably in years. We sang at my mom's funeral about a year and a half ago. We kind of dusted off ourselves for that, but we're putting together. We're getting back together. Probably this one last hurrah. So we're not spring chickens anymore. So before any more of us drop off the planet, we're going to have a reunion coming up in September at the family reunion. Let's see here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about some items in the news. You do not want to miss this. I can assure you. And thank you to everyone who's tuning in. I see your numbers there. I see you tuning in on Facebook. I see some Instagrammers over there. I see some YouTubers. And good morning, LinkedIn folks. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Glad to see you. Let's take a quick break here. And you can join the conversation too. If you hear something in the news you want to give your opinion on, then just click that button, go to marketingpulpit.com and click that button that says join the show. It'll bring you right up. Just type your name into the screen and you'll be on the air right here next to me, just like on CNN or something like that. And we've had many people who've taken advantage of it. Some have gotten results. Some just want to get their name out there. Some just want to make sure their voices are heard. Whatever your reason, the floor is open. Like my dad used to say, the doors of the church was open. He would say that and I'd be turning around looking back. I thought that door's not open. I didn't know he was being metaphoric. He said, all right, the doors of the church are open. I mean, when I was a youngster, I would turn around and look back every time. And I said, man, Pop's getting old. That door is closed as it can be. Well, I know what he meant now. He was speaking metaphorically. He was saying, I'm extending an invitation for you to come up and join and participate. So that's the invitation I'm giving you today. So hang on a second. Let's take a break here and we'll be back in a moment with the news on the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. Don't go anywhere. As you listen to the items in the news, if you see something you'd like to opine on, go to marketingpulpit.com and you'll see a method for getting onto the show where you can voice your opinion as well as promote your upcoming event or product, or if you have a book.
I just really want to encourage people to get their things organized and documented.
Have parents who are involved in their child's life, but still things happen.
I found out a lot of things about social media. It can help you and it also can harm you.
To have children in the street, they're gonna learn from something. So it's best that they learn from us.
Hey, I want to promote me and another partner in comedy. We decided to collaborate.
All right. We're back. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gossip. We're not saving souls. We're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. That's right. You black businesses out there, this is Black Business Month. You don't have to be a black business to participate. Whatever your hue or persuasion, race, or whatever you want to call it, that construct, support these businesses. Don't be complaining about, you always with your hand out, but you're not doing anything to help. So help. Support these businesses. I've been shopping, I've been patronizing the same black bank since I've been in business. That's right, we have Industrial Bank here in the Washington, D.C. area. And man, I'm gonna tell you, they struggled like a lot of other small businesses when they first got off the ground. I'd have to drive like 5 extra miles just to make a daggone deposit because they were a little slow at the app. Well, they have the app now. And as a matter of fact, they just opened a new location in the Largo area. So I've stuck with them through the thick and the thin, and hopefully others like me have paid off. So don't be so quick to pull the plug on us. We make one little small mistake. Now I don't expect or ask anybody to lower their expectations just because they're dealing with a black business. No. What I'm doing is asking you black businesses to step it up. Exceed expectations. Don't just do enough to get by. Our community demands it and deserves it. And they will reward you. I know I will. Every chance I get. This place down the street got this peach cobbler. I'm just waiting to get back over there too. That's some good cobbler, man. You have that after you've had your dinner and some pie. Woo! Lord have mercy. Oh, back to the topic here. Let's talk about some items that are happening in the news. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and I'm here every Friday bringing you the good marketing gospel. You can go to marketingpulpit.com. You can watch the show live right on the homepage. That's right, man. Our technology has really picked up over the last few years. I was looking at some of the old shows from a few years ago. Man, they were pretty crappy. If I must say so myself, I'm like, good Lord, did I put that out on the airway? Oh boy. But I think it was more about the content. Thank God. I tell you what, some of those films were grainy, and I looked like I had just jumped out of bed. I mean, if you want to go back and look, just go back to our Marketing Pulpit and flip back to some of those old videos. You can also go to YouTube where you can get a categorization of the videos. And we have snippets on Instagram, and man. Now I must admit though, when I was over at Radio One, I started the videoing when I was in the studio at Radio One. And back then that video was still kind of new. People weren't really evaluating you. It was about content and things being raw. Now they want you to be spontaneous and they want you to look sharp. because the competition now, a lot of these videos that you're seeing on YouTube now, they have replaced traditional radio and TV. And so the people expectations have come up to where they expect it. They want you to look like CNN or at least have the same quality if you are going to be on those platforms. If you're going to be trying to replace them. So voila, we had to step our game up, but we're not done. I'm still working on it. Got a good team behind me. And let's see. We also produce shows. We produced the Counter Racist show with Neely Fuller every Tuesday. So if you have a show, you need to get your show out here on the internet or on TV or on one of these internet platforms. Then we do that as well. We produce quite a few shows. The Disability Show over at Radio 1 with Ray Razor, the Neely Fuller Show. We also work with Joe Madison behind the scenes of his social media and web and technology and branding. So we don't just sit up here and talk. We do the walk. All right, let's talk about some news. Tesla, they're getting into the robot business. They're saying in a few years, you're going to have robots just like on the Jetsons, going around sweeping up your floors and doing everyday chores. So if you got that Tesla stock, I know it's had a little rocky road here the last year. Man, it was bottomed out almost. That thing had dropped down to about $500 a share about 4 or 5 months ago from its high of about $1,200 a share. And on the 25th of August, it's going to split. They're going to do a 3-1 split. They did a 5-1 split about 2 years ago. And so it was about up around $3,000 a share. They split it down, came down to about $500 a share. So from that split it did a couple of years ago, it has gone back up to $900 and some change. And they're going to do another split on the 25th of this month, which is next week. And so you'll be able to get Tesla stock at about $300 a share. And I'll probably buy a couple of more shares. I have a few shares now, and it has been a profitable venture. And I think, hey, look, I'm not a stock guy. Don't be taking my advice. I've told folks to get Dogecoin. What a mistake. I got folks that won't speak to me now. I thought Dogecoin was that was another thing that what Elon Musk influence is a little too. He goes on Saturday Night Live and makes fun of the daggone Dogecoin, and the bottom fell out. I mean, just like, and I told a few friends, man, you better get onto this. Don't take my advice. Do your own homework, but you got to invest in something. You can't save your way out of your situation. Google is taking aim at subpar content. Google has this thing. They are really big on what they call UX, user experience. So now they're updating their apps, their software to go after these. Really what they're trying to do is get rid of these bots that are just delivering, that automatically create content. They want to make sure the content is authentic. And so they're coming out with they're getting tough on low quality search results. And I think that's not a bad thing. They're kind of they're saying that TikTok is putting a dent in their market. So they're trying to respond to that. Well, the back to work from home thing is really still evolving. Many bosses have gone back to work, but the employees are saying, not yet. This life is too good. These kids are setting up. They're setting up green screens at the beach to make it look like they're at home or behind their desk. Somebody did that the other day, and the wind blew the darn green screen down, and all this ocean back there behind them. So the bosses they're going back to work, but the workers are not following them. And that is really, we're still we're in a flux right now between people going back to work, people working from home. Even myself, I have an office, have a studio, but sometimes I just want to sit on the deck and work. It just feels good. I must admit now, I'm not as productive. When I'm sitting out there on the deck and the sun is shining and I'm going to the refrigerator every 2 minutes and drinking coffee, it gets a little later and all of a sudden the crown at the ginger ale starts to look a little, it's different. But if I really want to get like work done, I'm telling you, I'm going to the office. Something about locking yourself in and not having those distractions And I think bosses are working with that too. But I think they can't confuse the amount of time you put in at the desk with your productivity. I think that's been a good example, a good discovery that we've learned doing this work from home, that people are just as productive. A lot of that time they were spent at the office, but just there because they had to be there. If I got to be there at the office for 40 hours to get paid, I'll be at the office for 40 hours, whether I need to be there or not. Well, we're finding out some of this work can be done in 20 hours, 30 hours, some cases 4 or 5. So anyway, bosses don't get so hung up on the tradition. Look at the productivity and pay people. You want folks to come to work and sit behind a desk all day? Give them some money. And the states are having trouble finding teachers. Now, can you blame them for that? It's rough being a teacher nowadays. Either some fool coming in there shooting up the place. They got this crazy crap about the critical race theory. They're scared the kids gonna learn something about black folks, make old grandpa look bad. I still remember that show, that video, that picture of these protesters sitting at the lunch counter, and this white guy pours milk or sugar on this black lady's head, who's just sitting there peacefully protesting. But that was somebody's granddad, somebody's dad, somebody's uncle. But these opponents of critical race theory are saying we don't want our kids to feel guilty. The best way to keep your kids from feeling guilty is stop doing crap that they're guilty of. We can fix that in a minute. You don't rewrite history to make yourself look better than you were. You change for the better. So that's why you're having trouble finding teachers. You got to stop all this hypocrisy and trying to sweep history under the rug. Who wants to be a part of that? Let's say we have a water crisis coming up in the Southwest. Man, I'm telling you, times are rough. Can't even get water anymore. I tell you what we're all going to get. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about this war in the workplace. You do not want to miss this. You're talking about people. You know, when I started the segment War in the Workplace, I was speaking rhetorically. You know, you speak in expressions and parables. You don't really mean war in the war sense. People aren't actually fighting each other. There may be disagreements. There may be a little tug here or there. You might get in somebody's faces and call somebody a few choice words, but you're not physically fighting, right? Well, I'm afraid life is stranger than fiction nowadays. So hang on. When we come back, we're going to show you some of the things that have been happening that's going to really blow your mind. I mean, you're going to say, wait a minute. Gatewood made this up. This is fake. No, it's not. So hang on a second, folks. This is the Marketing Pulpit. I'll be back in a second. I'm going to give you some news items to chew on. And if you have an opinion on any of those stories, and you just come on air, and we'll let your opinion be known. And after that, tell me about your company.
It's a collective effort, and because I've seen it from all facets.
I just really want to encourage people to get their things organized and documented.
They're going to learn from something. So it's best that they learn from us.
All right, we are back. This is the Marketing Pulpit. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, we're saving jobs, saving our community. And yes, it is Black Business Month. So all of the Black businesses out there and those who support them, let's go ahead and make this money and build this community. And when I say community, I say our community. I mean people in the community and people who support the community. Because there are some white companies and individuals that support our community. So we got to give them a little love too. So we can't be so myopic that we ignore or undervalue the contributions wherever they come from. Because there are some people that genuinely want us to succeed. And to all of the philanthropic people out here and people that are contributing and making these businesses work and hiring people and giving back. Toast to you from the Marketing Pulpit, MPI, Marketing Pulpit International. Let's see what's happening in the news here. War in the workplace. Now, there was a woman accused of repeatedly booking appointments for these $1,000 plus treatments and then leaving without paying. Now, that's an assault. That is why. That was another thing that prompted me to have this topic today. Are you getting paid or getting played? So this lady would go in there and she'd have the works done. Man, she'd have everything done. She'd have the hair coloring, a 5-hour appointment, and the bill would come up to $1,000. And then she would say, I need to run out here and check my parking meter. She'd have her bonnet on and a little scarf around her neck, and she'd jump in her car and fishtail down the street. That's cold, I'm telling you. That's pretty cold. And she did it a couple of times. So she's been, she was actually arrested. But it comes back to my sermon today. Are you getting paid or getting played? I'm going to give you 10 money mandments today on ways to get paid and not get played. And one of them, get your money up front. Man, as nice of a guy as I am, and as much as I am in the customer service, I'm just sorry. I'm not going to do any work until we get some money on the table. I'm going to give you a lot of free things that may give you an opportunity to test, to sample the work, if you will. But when it's time for the work to get done, it's simple. We have it on our terms of engagement on the website. First pay, first serve. So this lady's going to learn. She probably should tune in today to this marketing sermon on how to get paid and not played. Now, Spirit Airlines got a little too spirited this week when a supervisor and an employee who was a supervisor got into a confrontation. I think confrontation might be too calm of a word. As a matter of fact, as you can see here, the supervisor and this lady who was a passenger, somehow she had been pulled off the plane. And because of, wait a minute, she didn't do what I just thought she did. I thought I was watching a football game. They're like a defensive lineman. Well, the guy in the black shirt, he's the defensive lineman. And the supervisor from Spirit, he looks like an offensive lineman. The way he run around that guy. And then, but I cannot believe I'm actually witnessing this. Let me just play this again. I'm thinking maybe I missed something. Let's just look at this again, lady. Is this what it has come to? Come on, really? Really? That was a pretty good tackle, though, I must say. But not the blow to the back of the head. Oh my God. I can't. Okay. Oh no. I can't watch this anymore. Cover my eyes. People. Have it come to this, really? When I said war in the workplace, I didn't really mean war. I didn't mean supervisors at Spirit Airlines tackling passengers. Now the lady looked like she got up in the man's face. And when she did that right hook around the other guy, that was a bridge too far. Now, look, I say this, and I've been saying this for years, since we've been doing this piece. Don't escalate. Sometimes you may have to go for a walk. You may have to go drink some water. You may have to go do something, but you definitely don't do a right hook around the person who's trying to break things up. Thank you, Carlissa, for the comment. You don't know what's going through people's mind. You can't get up in their face. You can't push them. Back off. Go for a walk. Drink some water. Pray. Chant. Jog. Plank. Go to the spa. Go to Planet Fitness. Anything except now. So if you're in the airport, it's kind of hard to do that, but you don't have to. Just don't escalate it. Don't be the one to throw the punch. I'm telling you, I can't. That's the most heartbreaking thing I've seen lately. You got two people who are adults. Apparently, they probably have family, children, employers, employees, church members, fraternity members, sorors, neighbors that have seen you across the world fighting on the ground in the airport. You can't justify that. Both parties had a chance to walk away. I'm not going to sit here and assign blame because I wasn't there. I don't know who said what. But I know the minute you put your hand on somebody, expect the worst. It's not going to end well. Oh, Black Jesus, help us. Help us. Help us. Help us. All right, we're going to talk about war. We're going to talk about money later on, just letting you know. Let's see what else is going on. These things, I think a Wendy's employee in Arizona has been charged with murder after he sucker punched a 67-year-old customer, knocked him to the ground, he bumped his head, and he died a few days later. Once again, now there's video on this too. I'm not gonna traumatize you twice in one day. The customer was at the counter. I don't know what was being said, but the guy that was behind the counter, the employee from Wendy's, walks around the counter, and you can see him landing a punch in the side of this guy's head. I'm saying, what the heck did he say? What the heck could somebody say that would cause you to leave from behind the counter to go up and punch somebody in the side of the head? Is it that can people be provoked to that extent without saying anything? Well, thank goodness we have teachers out here who are the voice of reason, who are setting a good example for us to follow. Let's see here. Ashley Richards, 32, was arrested and charged on Wednesday with one account of child abuse for punching a 4-year-old in the head. Okay, so much for that idea. And I'm telling you, it's a pandemic. Let's see. The citizens arrest a man on an airline who wouldn't stop drinking and got violent. Not even gonna read that story. I'm gonna keep moving. Some people are trying to find a way to relieve themselves and have a little amusement. Couple arrested for having sex on Ferris wheel. Okay, never mind. Okay, here. Well, let's see. Protective services worker fired after telling a 14-year-old girl to become a prostitute. Okay, let's keep moving here. Trying to find a story that's. Now, there was another story here that was equally egregious. And this was a tearjerker. An ex-NFL football star and his brother were coaching a Pee-wee football league. Pee-wee, I guess that means little. Like 9-year-old, 8-year-olds, and people like that. They got into a fight with the opposing coach. And the former NFL football player allegedly starts to fight with the opposing coach. The opposing coach was a gentleman by the name of Michael Hickman, a 43-year-old. And the brother of this NFL star jumps into the fight, but he brings a weapon and shoots the opposing coach in front of his 9-year-old son. Now, that makes you want to cry. I ain't gonna lie. That we have devolved as a society to that. You're gonna shoot somebody over a Pee-wee football league game that doesn't even count. The season hadn't even counted. It's like a preseason game. So you're going to shoot a 43-year-old coach in front of his 9-year-old son, kill him because of a Pee-wee league football game that doesn't count. That's irrelevant. What if it did count? It could have been the Super Bowl of Pee Wees. You don't shoot somebody. Man, I'm going in the house and locking the door. I'm never coming out again. So if I'm not here next week, y'all, just know this news got to me after I finish my coffee, of course. I'm telling you, next time you see me, there's going to be something stronger than coffee in here. Let's see. A Missouri pastor apologized after berating his congregation for being poor, broke, and busted for not getting him a luxury watch. What you talking about, Willis? That's what I'm telling you, folks. We're going to talk about later on getting paid and not getting played. Well, this pastor, he's probably a lot of folks been talking about that. This guy. It's a video out here on YouTube. Everything's on YouTube now, too. Don't do anything. You will be on YouTube, and we're going to talk about you. Anyway, he was saying, I'm not worth your Red Lobster money. I'm not worth your Louis Vuitton money. Y'all too broke to buy me a watch. So, of course, he apologized. Probably apologized because he hadn't gotten his watch yet. That's why this topic today is very important. Don't you be paid. Don't be played. Get paid. So I'm going to tell you at the next segment how to keep your money. And I'm telling you, these stories just really, they're beyond the pale today. I tell you what, let's take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to get into our marketing sermon today. We're going to talk about getting paid and not getting played. Really, we're talking about cash flow. We're talking about money management. We're talking about ways to handle money, particularly if you're a business owner. And whether you're a business owner or not, if you have money or if you deal with money on a day-to-day basis, and I can't imagine anyone who doesn't, you want to listen to this segment and you need to tell somebody to tune in because the money you save may be your own or somebody you know. So hang on, don't go anywhere. This is the Marketing Pulpit. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. So we'll be back in one moment. It's not just a little pocket change you're giving these kids when you hire them. You're giving them life lessons. I'm not saying be this stick in the mud, but as you listen to the items in the news, if you see something you'd like to opine on, go to marketingpulpit.com and you'll see a method for getting onto the show where you can voice your opinion as well as promote your upcoming event or product, or if you have a book.
I just really want to encourage people to get their things organized and documented.
Have parents who are involved in their child's life, but still things happen.
I found out a lot of things about social media. It can help you, and it also can harm you.
Child children in the street, they're going to learn from something. So it's best that they learn from us.
Hey, I want to promote me and another partner in comedy. We decided to collaborate.
Okay, welcome back to the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. We still have time if you want to get on the air. Go to marketingpulpit.com. Just click that button that says join the show. If you have an event you're trying to promote, if you have product or service, and you're sitting here wondering why people aren't calling you, you're not doing anything to drive them to your site or to your business. We've given you an opportunity here. This is a gift to you from the Marketing Pulpit Show. And we just started doing that this last couple of months. And you can see some of the people in the ad who have taken advantage of it. And some have actually said they've been contacted after the show, after they promoted their service right here on the Marketing Pulpit Show. Don't sit around and curse the darkness. Light a candle. Some people are so used to complaining. When they get opportunity, they don't take advantage of it. So don't be looking at me funny when your phone's not ringing. I'm giving you an opportunity, and I'm not asking you any money. I do not want one red penny from you. I'm on a mission. That's the problem when you're dealing with somebody who's on a mission. They're not a slave to your money. Yeah, I have a greater calling here, and that's to build successful businesses in our community. And so I put as many tools out here as possible. Many people can't afford my services. I'm not cheap. You got to pay a few $1,000 to hire me as a consultant. But I know that. We talked about integrity last week. And one of the things I talked about when we talk about integrity is that I ask people, if you have a service that people can't afford, then you have to find a way to get that service to people, to the ones who can't afford it, if it's something that they really need. That's why law firms have pro bono services and things like that. That's why medical clinics have the free clinic. Because some things you can't just say because you can't afford it, you're not going to get it. I feel that marketing advice falls in that category as well, particularly if you're a business owner. But anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about money management. I call this getting paid and not played. Some of you right now, under the sound of my voice, you have been either played or paid in the last 24 hours. Some have been both. The difference is when you get paid, you're getting a return on some type of service or some type of product that you have rendered or provided to somebody. But when you get played, that means you didn't get what you think you should have gotten. You may have been cheated, bamboozled, tricked, run amok. So you want to avoid being played, and you definitely want to get paid. Now, I put together what I call my 10 money amendments. It's like a takeoff with the commandments. And these are not, like I say, coming to you from what we call a financial advisor. You want to talk to your accountant and your financial advisor for that. I'm just giving you some real life lessons from this old head here. Somebody who's been out there for a minute. Okay? And I'm not sitting over here lighting up cigars with $100 bills, but I have learned some valuable lessons over the years when it comes to money and dealing with money and people. Number one is, particularly if you're in business, you have to make it easy for people to give you money. I am still a little surprised and puzzled by people who have made it difficult for people to pay them. They're like, no, I don't deal with that technology stuff. You got to write me a check. You got to come get it. My website is still under construction for the last 10 years, and you got to get on the phone and call me and give me the credit card number. That's making it hard for folks to give you money. You got to make it easy for people to give you money. And you have to understand that everybody's not the same. You have to have different types of payment arrangements and plans depending on your audience. Like in my company, you can pay online, you can pay with a check, you can pay with Venmo, Cash App, credit cards. Yeah, we don't take a food stamp. No, we don't take food stamp. That's not legal. That's illegal. Don't do that. We talked about integrity now. We also have a retainer where people can pay on a retainer basis. You can pay flat fee, a la carte. So we've come up with every possible way to get this money from your hand to ours in an equitable and fair exchange. Make it easy for people to give you money. That's my first bit of advice. Number two, this goes along with the played part. make it difficult for people to take your money or to keep the money that's owed you from getting to you. You have to make that difficult for people to take your money. We gave you the example of the lady who was going from one hair salon to the next, getting $1,000 worth of treatment. And she runs out to the car to check her meter, she says. She see her got the bonnet on her head and the apron around her neck, and she jumps in that car and fishtails down the street. Now they broken my number 2 rule. They didn't make it easy. They didn't make it difficult for people to take their money. Get your money up front. I'll drink to that. Get your money up front. Don't waver on this one. You don't have to get it all up front, but you better cover your expenses up front. Cover your costs. I went to this retainer rule many years ago. I don't have any accounts receivable. So folks calling me like, hey, we're gonna go after your accounts receivables for you. You know those calls you get, somebody's gonna go out and collect your money for you. That doesn't exist. Nobody owes me any money because I made them pay up front. And then if you pay me half and I've done half the work, we're gonna start talking about that second half too. I made an exception. I'll talk about this one later on when I talk about don't let emotions and money don't mix. I made an exception recently. And boy, I tell you follow these rules, you can't go wrong. But I made an exception just recently. Somebody called me up with a hard luck story. I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. I still haven't been paid. Oh boy, I had to go back and say, all right, Robert, you broke your own rule. You deserve that one. You did not make it difficult for people to take my money or to keep the money that's owed me. Here's one for you. Don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Now, I get tired of these folks. They're like my favorite whipping boy. They out here chasing the pennies. I mean, they invoice somebody for $5,000 and the person sends them a check for $4,999 and they spend half a day trying to get that extra dollar. Hello, ma'am. I just got your check here. I've called you this is the 5th time I'm calling you, and I've sent you 5 letters and turned you over to a collection agency, but your invoice was $1 short. I need my money. Now you spent like $50 already trying to get that $1. That's an exaggeration, but not by much. Some people think that if you collect all the pennies and put them together, somehow it's going to make up for lacks or shortcomings in other areas. It doesn't add up. You're not giving your time any value. So don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Don't sweat the small stuff. Even in accounting, we have a rule called the Law of Materiality. Well, they teach us in accounting. Yes, I wear an accounting hat too. Oh God, I wear too many hats. But yeah, that was one of my hats too. I was CFO for this company, for a couple of companies. And one of the laws of materiality is we're not going to spend all day trying to find out why the penny doesn't balance. We pop that sucker under miscellaneous and keep it moving. So write off the pennies, ladies and gentlemen, while you pursue the big money, okay? Here's one. You better get your notes out on this one. Don't try to outsmart the IRS. Now, I know some of y'all are pretty smart. I know I got some smart listeners out here. But if you're trying to outsmart the IRS, you're not as smart as you think you are. They got some stuff for you. And just because they haven't told you everything they have, boy, just take my word on this one. Uncle Sam knows. That little catch up and Venmo stuff you've been doing on the side, matter of fact, it reminds me of Santa Claus. When I was a kid, there's this song about better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. He knows when you are asleep. Well, I got one for you. This is the IRS. He knows if you are faking. He knows how much you make. He's saying himself, I wish you would, so be good for goodness sake. IRS knows. Do not try to mess with IRS. Get yourself an accountant, keep your books, and it just pays to know. Yeah. If you need an accountant, somebody keep your books for you. And don't think these little apps and things that you're doing on the side that Uncle Sam doesn't know about it. You can't file your taxes saying you made $5,000 for the year, but your bank account is saying you made $500,000. Uncle Sam sees it. He's just sitting there looking at you. He's waiting for the best time to come get you. Okay? Here's one for you. There's an old saying that's a fool and his money are soon parted. And I'm not calling anybody a fool. That's just an expression. But you got to watch out for these scams. And there's a scammer out here every 5 minutes. As I said earlier, emotions and money don't mix. Don't get emotional. And you ever get one of these letters in the mail that you got to send somebody some money before they give you the big money? That's a scam. Nobody should have to pay to get money. I get these letters, oh, we got this equipment we want to sell you. We want 500 laptops, but you got to give us $500 to make this purchase order, something. There's always something when you got to give them the money to get the big money. That's a scam. And you ever get these things? Look, I got a letter. I got a check right here in the mail yesterday. It's from one of my credit card providers. They sent me a check. Now, why are they sending me a check? I use them for credit cards. And they say, look, need a little extra cash. And so it's a check from my credit card company. You know what I want you to do with this check and checks like this? There you go. So I'm going to tell you why. They're sending you this money because you don't need it. I guarantee you, I will bet my life that if you were sitting there needing that $200, they would not send it to you. Another reason I know, because you have that amount available through your credit card. But you weren't using it, obviously, fast enough. So they sent you a check to make it even quicker. Folks, I'm telling you, don't be paid. Don't be played. Be paid, okay? Now, you do have to spend some money to make money. I know that's an old saying. That's an old expression. It's true. Saving will only take you so far. You do have to take some risk, but take educated risk. Invest. Your money is not going to grow fast enough just sitting in a regular checking account or savings account. And if you're down to your last $500, you can't save yourself out of debt or the problems you're having, because that $500 is going to be gone next. So you take that $500 and invest it and hope. At least you have a fighting chance. If you're just sitting on it, it's just going to be gone in a few days. Invest in people, equipment, technology, marketing, systems. You cannot save yourself to riches. Now, when you get the riches, you can save it and sit on it, but you're not going to save your way to get there. I'm just going to tell you that right now. We're talking about money. We're talking about getting paid and not getting played. Now, you have to keep up with technology. That's been the undoing of so many people. You didn't keep up with technology. Technology is going to help you with security. It's going to help you with opportunity. You're going to be abreast of some of these scams that are out here. You're going to know what the IRS is up to. I'm telling you, a good way to get paid and not played, you must stay up with technology. Take some courses. Go to the college. Go to community college. Go to Prince George's College. I'm an instructor over there. Take a couple of my courses. They have financial advisors, accounting courses, technological courses, but you have to stay up with technology to avoid some of this scamming and to keep up with some of the opportunities that are out here so that you get paid and not played. Now, just kind of reiterate what I mentioned earlier. This is one of those rules of money. The less money you need, the more money you'll be able to get. And the more money you have, the more money you can get. So build up your cash reserves. Don't be spending money fast as you get it. Get yourself some cash reserves and you can get all the money you want. You don't have to spend your money. You can leverage the money you have or leverage the stocks you have, leverage your assets. But don't try to get yourself out of the hole. Make that a goal first, okay? And once you get some money, a little nest egg, a little pile of money, opportunities for being played shrink, and the opportunities for getting paid multiply. Okay, wrapping things up here. Here's one I want you to be advised of. Size does matter. You've heard that before, right? Size matters, particularly transaction sizes. You can't treat every transaction the same. Now, if somebody's owe you, $25, you might treat that situation a little differently than somebody owed you $25,000. For $25 or $250, if that client is downtown DC and they say, look, hey, Gate, we would just cut your check now for $250. I go ahead and put it in the mail. I get it in a couple of days. If that check is for $25,000, I'm going to find an excuse to be downtown. You know what? I was just heading over that way. I got a client over there in your next building. I'll just swing by there on the way out. So you got to make rules based on the size of that transaction. Don't make these hard, fast rules that apply across the board, because sometimes it doesn't apply. That's right. I would go pick up that check if it's a certain size. Now, I'm not driving to California or catching a plane for any size check. Well, never say never. That's $5 million. Hey, Spirit Airlines, let me put on my boxing gloves and my armor, and we're going to battle. All right, let's see. And in closing, remember this, ladies and gentlemen. Money is not everything. I know we talked about money. We talked about how to get it, how to keep it, how to protect it, preserve it, save it, multiply it. Money is not everything. Don't make all of your life decisions on getting more money, because sometimes you have to forego the money in order to attain peace of mind and time. Let me repeat that. Money is not everything. Sometimes you have to forego that money. And it's situational. Like I said, we go back to transaction size. I mean, that check is big enough, man. Forget peace of mind. That much time in the world. I'm coming to get it. But you have to look at every situation. And sometimes there's so much going on in your life. And some things are so precious. Sometimes there are memories that you would never be able to relive. There's no check big enough. And I mean that sincerely. It's situational. Money's not everything. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This has been the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and I'm here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. I'll be back next week, and we're going to bring you another show next week of interest. We focus on business owners, but some of these are life lessons. What separates the Marketing Pulpit from some other shows or other platforms is that we take a holistic approach. You can't just focus only on money, only on business, only on advertising, only on marketing, only on social media, only on rah motivation. It takes a total approach to succeed in business and in life. And that's what we try to provide here on the Marketing Pulpit Show. Hope you enjoy the show. Hope you tell others, share this show. And we'll be back next week with another show of interest right here on the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. And if you want to be successful, you have to do these 3 things. Do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you have to do it right. Enough talk. Let's get to work. It's not just a little pocket candy you're giving these kids when you hire them. You're giving them life lessons. I'm not saying be this stick in the mud, but you just can't get too close to everybody. You want to make sure that technology does not leave you on the sideline. And let me tell you about a thing called goodwill. That's one of your company's most valuable assets. You have to advertise. Don't be penny wise and pound foolish. We can't keep depending on others to put our children to work. do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you have to do it right. Let's talk. Let's get to work.